him. I like his personality. I would love for him to win that belt, but unfortunately, I cannot go against Makhachev in this one. I think he is just so good. I think he's so good, and I don't think he's going to give up anything going up a weight. I think he's going to be great at that weight, to be honest.
Make history.
Absolutely.
I think Jack is extremely talented as well, and I think that's a big fight with Jack as well, the old guard and the new guard. But I don't think we've ever seen 2 pound for pound fighters go in there and fight each other. And so, yeah. And so I think you could kind of guess where I'm leaning towards.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think it makes all the sense. The only thing I guess I worry with an Islam win, all these outside factors, like all these guys on this card who win, they're going to feel they deserve a title shot. The winner of Bilal and Ian Gary next week is going to think they deserve a title shot. There's this whole Ilya Taporia thing that's being asked to Islam every single interview.
With just days to go, DDP warns JDM is in for a brutal night as Islam looks set to dominate and leave him battered in the octagon. Speaking on the highly anticipated showdown of the year, DDP made it clear he has nothing but respect for JDM, emphasizing that he loves him and admires how he fights, especially referencing his exceptional performance against Belal Muhammad. However, DDP warned that Islam Makhachev brings enormous power, having faced tough opponents and consistently claimed victory. In his view, Islam looks perfectly in shape for the move up to welterweight, and there's no doubt he will break JDM in the octagon.
Goes through these wars, and his style, he just has this nonchalant, let's do this. He's very calm, very relaxed. He can go to distance. We've seen that. How good he did against Belal was incredible. I mean, Belal is really good wrestling, especially when he's enforcing his plan. And Jack Della didn't care. He has that anti-wrestling working with Craig Jones, and it's been so effective. But that being said, if you look at his opponents versus Makhachev's opponents, Makhachev has beaten the who's who. He is where he is, and he was pound for pound for very long. Pound for pound king for a very good reason.
DDP didn't linger there, but went on to send a warning. Once JDM steps into the octagon, he's going to face unexpected challenges from what Islam usually brings. He predicted that Islam Makhachev is in incredible form and ready to make history. While acknowledging that JDM brings a lot to the table, he insisted that misfortune awaits him this time and there's no way he can come out on top. In his words, he simply can't go against Islam Makhachev at his current level.
I think Jack Della is going to be bigger? I don't think so. I've now lately seen, and that's why they did such a long camp, to pick up that weight correctly. And he looks big, and he looks thick, and he looks strong. I mean, no doubt, he's a hard worker. But this one, I think, with Jack Della, I love his style, I love him, I like his personality. I would love for him to win that belt, but unfortunately, I cannot go against Makhachev in this one. I think he is just so good. I think he's so good, and I don't think he's going to give up anything going up a weight. I think he's going to be great at that weight, to be honest.
Make history.
Absolutely.
Well, there you have it.
Next, Kamaru Usman provides a detailed breakdown of the fight. He notes that choosing a favorite is tough, as both fighters bring a unique set of skills. He also highlights the similarities in their fighting styles, and focusing on JDM, Usman acknowledges that he has demonstrated dominance against Belal and has been truly impressive. However, he also points out a concern, noting a weakness in JDM's wrestling game.
Who do I think wins? I think both guys present a lot of things that could give each other problems. Now, we got to remember that they're both going in against each other, both southpaws. Jack now has shown a tendency to be able to switch effortlessly and make it look very fluid to where you don't see it. And so that's something that he potentially could have in his back pocket. But they both fight very well in the southpaw position. Now, like we mentioned, he's bigger. He's going to hit a little bit harder because he's used to carrying that just extra weight on him when he throws his punches. But where he has shown a little bit of a weakness is being taken down in the wrestling aspect. and kind of controlled.
Speaking on the matter, Kamaru pointed out that JDM's wrestling weakness is exactly what Islam could exploit. While he avoided giving a definitive prediction, he admitted that he's leaning in Islam's favor. He also clarified that his support for Islam winning is partly strategic. He wants the winner to set up the next fight of his own career, ideally against Islam Makhachev.
And so that's also primarily an area where Islam has shined. And so that's what's going to make this ultra intriguing here. But I can't call it. It's very, very tough one. I can't call it. I just want to see a great fight. Hopefully both men go home safe and back to their family. But personally, who would I want to win? I just think, like, I'm in a position now to where I want the biggest, most challenging fight out there before, because I understand that I don't have another 20 fights left in the company. So if you can get, and anything can happen. So if you can get that next one, and that next one can be that fight, then that's what I want.
At the same time, Khamzat Chimaev has just thrown fuel on the fire with his fiery take on the upcoming clash between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena. In a recent clip shared on his social media, Chimaev didn't hold back. He showed respect to both fighters, acknowledging their high-level skills, but made it clear where his loyalty lies. The Chechen powerhouse pointed out that while the matchup is stacked with talent, it's Makhachev's dominant wrestling that will likely make the difference. Chimaev admitted he's curious to see how Islam performs at the higher weight, yet firmly believes that the champion's relentless grappling will ultimately give him the upper hand.
Coach says 55% Maddalena, 45 Islam, but I think Islam will see. Both good fighters. Islam moving up, it's interesting to see what's he gonna do. But I think Islam will be more, he gonna use his wrestling more in this fight.
Meanwhile, Dustin Poirier has weighed in with his own take, showing genuine excitement for the upcoming showdown and admiration for both contenders. He noted that each fighter brings something special to the cage, which makes this matchup all the more fascinating. According to Poirier, Jack Della Maddalena has the striking and pressure to pose real problems for Islam, if he can keep the fight in his fate. Still, Poirier pointed out that moving up a weight class is never an easy task, but he believes Makhachev's elite athleticism, discipline, and fight IQ make him capable of adjusting and thriving at any level.
I'm curious, Dustin, what are your thoughts on that fight and Islam Makhachev's chances to become a two-division champion?
I'm excited for him. You know, he's made history. He's trying to continue making history. I'm going to be there in attendance with Bud Light for that event in Madison Square Garden. So excited to see that one in person. But to like pick a fighter in this one, I think both guys are great at certain things. It's going to all come down to the takedown defense of Jack, of JDM. If he can get back up to his feet, if he can use the fence or stay off the fence, use his boxing, I think he definitely could give Islam a lot of troubles in the center of the octagon. You know, he's a great striker. He's big and powerful. But a lot of times we think of a lightweight going up to welterweight. It's a 15-pound weight difference, but Islam is not a small man. He's not short.
Dustin Poirier further shared that while this is a big step up for Islam, the lightweight champ has the mindset and skill to adapt to any division. In Poirier's eyes, Makhachev's size and power naturally match up well, even against seasoned welterweights. He added that Islam won't look like a lightweight out of his depth. He'll show up strong, composed, and built for battle. Breaking down the fight, Poirier explained that if Islam can land his takedowns and keep Jack from escaping to his fate, victory is well within reach. However, if JDM can stuff those attempts and keep the fight standing, Poirier believes it could turn into a very tough night for Makhachev.
I don't know, maybe 5'11". He's big. You know, he's a big guy. It's not like he's having to put on years of muscle to make this leap to the next weight class. He's a guy who's been holding his body back from naturally being bigger like it wants to be so he can compete at a lightweight division. He's going to fill into this weight class, and he's not going to look like a lightweight going up to a welterweight. He's going to look like a solid welterweight in a title fight. But it's going to come down to his ability to get takedowns and hold JDM down. If JDM can get back up over and over and scramble, I think he's going to give Islam a lot of problems with the exchanges of boxing.
Meanwhile, Michael Chandler, one of the most explosive athletes the UFC has ever seen, offered a completely different perspective on Islam Makhachev's upcoming test. In Chandler's view, this fight isn't just about handling the size difference, it's about surviving pure, unfiltered power. While he fully acknowledged Makhachev's technical brilliance and physical strength, he warned that Jack Della Maddalena brings a rare kind of danger, and with his knockout heavy striking. Chandler characterized JDM as a fighter who doesn't rely on flash or fancy setups. Instead, he's simple but lethal, using clean, efficient techniques that make him a major threat in the welterweight landscape.
He's not much of a puzzle, man. He's pretty basic, but he is brilliant and violent and devastating with the basics, man. A little bit of range, a little bit of reach on Islam, and I won't even sit there and say, because Islam's a different breed, man. I wouldn't sit there and say, oh, he's a 155er, so he's not used to going with 170 pounders. I would not be surprised if Islam, his entire career, has been sparring with 55, 70, 185, and 205ers because the dude's kind of a nut.
Chandler believes Islam will handle the physical aspect of the fight just fine, noting that Makhachev has likely trained with and grappled against opponents ranging from lightweights to even middleweights. Size, in his opinion, won't be the issue. The real question, Chandler says, is how Islam reacts when he gets hit by a fighter with genuine welterweight power. He's certain Makhachev will eat some heavy shots at some point, maybe not early on, but eventually, and that's when the true test of his composure and durability will begin.
I don't think strength or size is going to be the problem. It's really going to be the dichotomy between JDM's great striking abilities and is his takedown defense enough to stop the onslaught of wrestling that Islam's going to bring. Because I do think, even the stand-up battle against Poirier does hit hard, because I've witnessed that and felt it firsthand. But there's no way he hits as hard as JDM. So I think it'll be interesting, man. I think Islam's going to get tagged up a couple times, and we're going to see.
When that moment comes, Chandler predicts Islam will have no choice but to fall back on his wrestling instincts. However, the real question, he says, is whether Makhachev can withstand Jack's striking danger long enough to drag the fight to the mat. In Chandler's eyes, the edge leans over so slightly toward JDM, not due to any flaw in Islam's skill set, but because of Jack's explosive power and precision on the feet. He went on to call Jack a monster, stressing that even if Makhachev does manage to win, it won't come easy. It'll be a hard-fought battle from start to finish.
If he goes to that wrestling pretty quick, but I think JDM's a monster, man. I think I give JDM the slight favor, or the slight nod in that one. But I would not be surprised if Islam is holding the belt, and then now you got a whole nother conundrum where you got Ilya and him wanting the super fight and all that stuff. So we'll see what happens, man. Crazy sport.
But the discussion didn't end there. Analyst and former UFC contender Kenny Florian weighed in as well, pointing out that the pressure in this fight leans heavily on one side. According to Florian, all the weight of expectation rests on Islam Makhachev's shoulders. As the reigning lightweight king stepping into a new division, he's the one that world expects to win, to prove his dominance, uphold his reputation, and extend Dagestan's proud fighting legacy into welterweight territory.
Found that to be extremely interesting. To be that effective against other 170 pounders in practice is one thing. To do it against other guys in a fight is quite another, especially one at the level of a Jack Della Maddalena. Now, it's possible that Islam is just that good of a grappler. And of course, we can't ignore his very good striking. This is a potent striker as well. He can hurt you. He's got some power. We have seen that. But I think, a lot of that is coming because of how dominant he's been in the 155-pound division, a division that many have thought has been the most competitive in the UFC for several years now. So I think that has a lot to do with it.
That's exactly what makes this fight so dangerous, Florian explained. He stressed that moving up in weight isn't as simple as training with bigger partners in the gym. It's a completely different story when you're battling them under the bright lights for 5 intense rounds. While Islam has looked untouchable at lightweight, stepping into welterweight territory brings a whole new set of challenges. Going up against a true 170-pounder like Jack Della Maddalena, Florian noted, will test Makhachev's stamina, timing, and raw physical power in ways he's never experienced before.
The other thing is, the fact that JDM hasn't been champion for very long. If you're going to face someone like JDM, you kind of want to do it right now. So I think that's really interesting. And we're going to find out, man. But I think this is going to be a treat for all the high-level mixed martial arts fans out there.
So you're going to hear a lot of people talk about the layers to Islam Makhachev's grappling game and his wrestling game. And when you look for comps, when you look at Jack Della Maddalena's career, I remember early on in a fighter meeting, In advance of his fight against Ramazan Ameev, he called it the Dagestani wrestler test, and he sort of felt like this is a good time for me to pass the Dagestani wrestler test.
Florian admitted that Islam absolutely has the skills set to execute his trademark game plan, pressuring Jack against the cage, securing takedowns, and grinding out control over the rounds. Still, he cautioned it won't be a walk in the park. The possibility of Islam feeling the size and power gap once the fight unfolds is very real. That's why Florian gives a slight edge to JDM. In his view, while Makhachev might be one of the most complete and dominant lightweights in UFC history, that doesn't necessarily guarantee the same success when stepping into welterweight waters.
And kind of dealing with that fear, that doubt of experiencing that in the fight against a guy like JDM. I don't know. I think it's just going to be different. And the crazy thing about this is, like, everyone's on the Islam Makhachev train right now. And, you know, I think there's more pressure on Islam than there is on JDM. And JDM's the guy who has the belt.
Yeah.
So I like JDM in this spot. I think there's a lot of value here. And yeah, I like the numbers. I like JDM. I think Islam Makhachev is an amazing 155-pound fighter. I just don't know if he's an amazing welterweight.
For Florian, the defining factor in this matchup is adaptation. Who can make the right adjustments when the pressure peaks? He believes Jack's sharp striking, smooth footwork, and composed demeanor inside the cage give him a real shot to shock the world. In Florian's eyes, if JDM can stay disciplined and read Islam's timing, he has every opportunity to flip the script and turn the fight in his favor.
But I hope JDM absolutely punches his little head in. Yeah, I hope JDM batters him. And if he can keep it on the feet, then he will absolutely batter him, and I hope he does. Islam was chatting pony for the day.
Bryce Mitchell also shared his thoughts, expressing excitement to watch the fight. He noted that moving up a weight class might impact Islam Makhachev, while praising Jack Della Maddalena's fighting style is truly impressive. Bryce predicted that JDM will win the fight and make it challenging for Islam to dethrone him in this weight division. He emphasized that there's nothing to underestimate, but that's simply the reality.
You know, him moving up now to 170 and JDM being the champion, like, do you have a favorite in that fight?
Islam versus JDM. Okay, I'm gonna go with JDM on that one, and the reason being is because I just love that style. Islam is gonna be the hardest fight he's ever had in his life. That's not an understatement. That is an understatement. I don't know, you know what I mean.
Know what you mean.
UFC fighter Fatima Khalil believes Islam may face a tough test moving up from 155 pounds. She highlighted that with grappling specialist Craig Jones and Jack Della Maddalena's corner, Makhachev could encounter serious challenges. Drawing parallels to Alexander Volkanovski's recent fight, Khalil emphasized how having a world-class grappling coach can make a huge difference inside the octagon. She suggested that wrestling and grappling that Islam usually relies on, giving Jack a legitimate chance to seize control of the fight.
Well, Islam is super dominant at 55, but I mean, 170, that's like over a 30-pound difference, you know. And so I could see Jack using his weight, and also, I mean, he's got Craig. If he has Craig Jones in his corner, and you see what happened when both fought Islam and had Craig in his corner, I could really see Craig Jones breaking down the kind of that Dagestani wrestling and pulling Jack out with a win.
And that's the latest on this epic showdown. Will Islam Makhachev live up to the hype, or can JDM pull off the impossible? Stay tuned, because Fight Night is going to be unforgettable. For more inside loops, predictions, and fight breakdowns, hit that subscribe button on Boxism and never miss a moment of MMA action.